Jimmy Carter was the longest living U.S. president. He was 100 when he died, and tonight we're learning more about the plans to honor him.
A state funeral is planned for next Thursday as more tributes come in for his presidency and his legacy out of office. Flags at the White House and Capitol building flew at half-staff today and will stay that way for 30 days at federal buildings, military posts, and naval stations. And outside the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta, people gathered, putting candles, flowers, and a makeshift memorial.
Cristian Benavides is live in Atlanta, where the first tributes are taking place. Cristian.
Well, Allison, Dick, it is said Jimmy Carter was the only president to use the White House as a stepping stone. And Americans here at the Carter Center are remembering him not just for his time in office, but also for his incredible second act.
The office of President of the United States.
Jimmy Carter completed a single term in the Oval Office, but fulfilled a lifetime of service to fellow Americans and people around the world.
Carter's style was to get to know families and to soften people as human beings, whoever they may be.
That approach helped seal the historic Camp David Accords during his presidency, and Carter carried it with him on humanitarian missions abroad and at home, including building houses for Habitat for Humanity.
I have this freedom to do things that I like to do and that an official of the U.S. government or the United Nations cannot do.
U.S. flags are flying at half-staff for 30 days in Carter's honor. If health and circumstances permit, all former U.S. presidents are expected to attend Carter's state funeral in Washington next week, with January 9th declared a national day of mourning.
The public tributes will begin with an observance here at the Carter Center in Atlanta, where Americans are already turning out to pay their respects to the 39th president.
When you see the flowers, you see the gifts, it's just a good reminder that when you're a good, decent person and do the right thing, that people will remember you well.
The way that he thinks about service is something that, I've always looked up to and admired.
The Carter Center was a passion project working to advance human rights, promote peace, and fight disease while influencing U.S. policy.
I carry and they carry in their hearts the principles that the Carters lived by: human dignity, human rights, freedom, democracy, elections, and alleviation of suffering.
Carter's journey will end where it began, in Plains, Georgia, where he will be privately laid to rest alongside his wife outside their home.
Over the weekend, President Biden remembered Carter as a man of decency. President-elect Donald Trump said while they disagreed politically, that Carter was a good man who will be greatly missed. Dick and Alice.
Cristian, you're in Atlanta. You've been speaking with people there who really knew Jimmy Carter personally. What have they been saying?
Well, Dr. Richards, the man that was in the piece from the Carter Center, shared a couple of anecdotes. He spent a lot of time with Jimmy Carter out on the field. He told me that he was very kind and private, but also asked a lot of probing questions. Remember that Jimmy Carter wrote 32 books on different topics, ranging from politics to even kids' books. He is someone who will be sorely missed, not just here in Atlanta, but around the world.
Politician, peanut farmer, engineer, president, all of those things. Cristian, thank you so much.
And remembrances for Jimmy Carter will play out for more than a week. The events will begin later this week and can last for up to 10 days. It begins with memorials and ceremonies in Georgia, where Carter lived most of his life. As we said, the state funeral is scheduled for January 9th, which has also been declared a national day of mourning. The Carter Center confirmed Carter will lie in state in the state rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. And finally, Carter will be brought back to his hometown of Plains, Georgia, where he will be buried beside his wife, Rosalind.
And the former president's legacy will live on around here through his work with Habitat for Humanity. The first thing he helped build was right here in Manhattan. In 1984, Jimmy Carter spent a week helping to renovate the 6-story Mascot Flats building in the East Village. Because of that, 19 families became first-time homeowners. It was the beginning of a more than 30-year partnership that helped put Habitat for Humanity on the map.
When he came out in 1984, it generated worldwide press. It set the tone for a post-presidency life. And he committed his life. He was selfless in service. And I think the incredible relationship and partnership that he forged with Habitat for Humanity has made us a better organization, but has absolutely made us the organization we are today.
Officials with Habitat for Humanity plan to put signage in front of the Mascot Flats building on East 6th Street starting on Tuesday so supporters can leave a tribute for President Carter. And coming up at 6, we'll hear from one of the families who moved into one of those homes President Carter built, who still lives there today.
And leaders from around the world are also paying tribute to former President Carter. Pope Francis said he was saddened to learn of his death. The Pope said Carter's commitment to peace and human rights was motivated by his deep Christian faith. And over in London, remembrances at the residence of the Prime Minister, flags atop 10 Downing Street, were lowered to half staff. We have continuing coverage of the life and remembrance of Jimmy Carter on our website. There, we'll update details about his planned funeral service as well as who is likely to attend. Plus, Jimmy Carter's life in pictures. That's all on CBSNewYork.com.